Hey, welcome to another episode of Open Minded Conversations. Uh, this was an interesting video. Shout out to my good friend, Authentic Talk Podcast. He was on my channel a while ago. You know, we had a discussion about religion, but he had an interesting video he posted on his channel. I'm gonna put the link to his channel below this video. Also, a link to this video as well. He has this video that's called "Life is a Rigged Game." I thought it was a very interesting topic about life, and so we're gonna get right into it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. Also, I got a Cash App, $ Open Mind Convo, $Open Mind Convo. Also, if you want to support this channel as well. And so, again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And so we're going to check out this video. I thought it was a very interesting topic, topic indeed. And so we're going to check it out. This is Authentic Talk Podcast. This his video called "Life is a Rigged Game." So let's check out what he has to say.
Life is rigged, y'all. I truly believe life is rigged. I think when it boils down to it, the Most High, God, whoever you subscribe to, whoever is supposed to be in control up there, I believe that he has favorites.
And I think this is something that a lot of people, a lot of humans question, whether you believe in Islamic faith, but especially the Abrahamic religions. We often have these questions, why this person's life better than somebody else's life, especially from the beginning of their existence, a person's existence. We question why we ended up in this certain household, why these certain things happen to us. And so he gonna further talk about what he's talking about in this video. And so yes, this was very interesting.
I believe that God has favorites, man. A lot of people come online talking about, oh, the chosen one is the chosen one that. I don't subscribe to all that chosen one talk because I think it's a bunch of BS. Because the real chosen ones are the ones who are living a great life.
And it is a lot of people that talk about the chosen ones on YouTube. They say, if this happened to you or if that happened to you, that means you're the chosen one. And I think that has to do with the personal, each person individually, if they feel like they're chosen. I don't think that's something that other people see. I think that's just a self examination. Everybody feel like they're the chosen one. But a lot of people, that has those type of channels where they say you're the chosen one. It's just a motivational thing that people use on YouTube, and it's a viral thing. It's a thing that people use in order to also get views on their channel. Motivational tool to get people amped to watch the video. They say you the chosen one. A lot of people feel like everybody feel like they're the chosen one. So he got a point about that. Everybody has these videos that you're the chosen one.
When why would you call yourself a chosen one when you've been living a life of hell your entire life? Like, you're not chosen. But anyway, I want to say a special shout out to Savvy Guy. Salute to Savvy Guy. He was talking about this earlier. I believe I shared his
Yeah, Savvy Guy was talking about something similar to this on his video.
video. But I want to kind of expound on what he was talking about. Like I do believe that life is rigged, man, because why is it that some people are born with certain advantages and other people aren't? You know, like some people are born intelligent, some people are born with good health, some people are born attractive, some people are born in wealth, a wealthy family.
And the point he's talking about that. Uh, you remember when you were in grade school, and you were in school, and some people have more self esteem than others. Of course, some students have problems with their image, and they may feel like God has in a way cursed them because they look the way they look, not realizing that they're uniquely made. Uh, of course, a lot of people are uh, born with certain deficiencies, certain disabilities, and so I got to be sensitive to that. People are born with certain things, but those people and everybody, we deal with self image. As we get older, especially around your teenage years, you feel like you don't look good enough in certain areas, and you may feel, and this video is a good something. It's a good thing that it's a interesting topic to talk about because a lot of people think this way, especially the minorities, African Americans, compared to Caucasians or other ethnicities. They may feel like they're not good enough or they don't get the same privileges as other ethnicities or cultures. And so yeah, that's a very interesting uh you know hypothesis.
Families, like if life wasn't rigged, why why doesn't everybody have an equal shot when it comes to life?
Yeah.
That's how you know that life is rigged, because if it wasn't rigged, everybody would start off on equal footing. And
And that's an interesting point. You know, why didn't God create us all with perfect parents? Why didn't God create us all with uh all our feet, our toes? Why didn't God create us all able to see when we were born? Some people are born blind. Some people are born in poverty. Some people are born in wealthy households. Why didn't God all start us all off on the same playing field? And so that's an interesting question.
I guess from there, they could, depend on the choices they make, they, would either go up in life or down in life, depending on those choices. But when you think about it, some people were given no option. Like the cards just were not in their favor from birth. And when, they become of age, they have to navigate through this world and they don't have good cards, you know? At the end of the day, you gotta play the card.
And for example, when I was in high school, I was blessed. My sister had a car, and so when she got another car, I got the old car. Some people and some families are not blessed. Some teenagers they're not even able to learn how to drive until they're in their 20s, because certain household situations happen where they don't have the backing or whatever to be able to drive to school in high school. I was blessed to drive, had a car in high school, and some students didn't. They didn't have that fortunate thing to happen to them as far as able to drive to school. during their grade years, in high school. And it just the way your household is, and that's an interesting uh thing to think about. You know, why didn't God, have, because children are innocent, and I think that's what he's trying to get to. Children are innocent, so why God placed, children in certain predicaments? It may be uh certain things that's going on in the household. From when a person is young, they may see violence, they may see domestic violence, and they can't help the situation they're in. And so, yeah.
Cards you're dealt, whatever cards you're dealt, those are the cards you got to play. And most people, man, is this they just never stood a chance, man. It just is what it is. And I truly believe a lot of life is predetermined.
Mm.
It's predetermined. Of course, we do have control over our lives. We do have agency over our lives to an extent. But most of our lives, man, it's just like it's predetermined, y'all.
And that's crazy because you if you were raised in church, people in church will say God knew you before you was born. Like in Jeremiah in the Bible, it talks about before I was formed in the belly, God knew him. God knew what he would be. He would be a prophet, and that's interesting that Authentic Talk podcast brought this up about that, because it does say a lot in the Bible that God knows a lot about us. Like they say in church, God know all the hairs on your head. God know everything you're about to do. And the question is why God let certain things happen to certain people. Why certain people have better lives starting off from the beginning. I think that's the main conversation. I think uh, we can control what happens later on in our lives, based on what we want to accomplish in life. It may be a family where the kids, one child, they want to be successful. They want to get out the projects. And then there may be one child that they are so trapped in that mentality that they want to stay in the same type of environment when they get older. It happens that way. It happens that way.
Just think about it, man. Like if you were born with a bunch of problems, and let's say you were born into a family that has a bunch of problems, you were born into a city or a town that has a bunch of problems, where do you think your life is gonna go? Like, do you honestly think that you're gonna be that special snowflake? You're gonna be that rose that grew from the crack in the concrete? You know, most likely you're not. It just is what it is, man. And that's why I say, man, I think this whole thing is rigged, man. I think it's like a some sick game played on us by the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I think we're living in some sort of simulation. I think
And that's interesting. That's interesting. Uh, a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way. Uh, Especially people, trying to find a purpose in life. They were like, why am I here? Uh, why certain things happen to me? Why do I think the way I do? Psychologically, uh, it's a lot. I think it got a lot to do with the psychological aspect of a person. One person may feel like they can do anything, but one person may feel like they're trapped mentally. Uh, whether it be anxiety, where it be like I said, social anxiety, depression. Uh, you don't feel like self-worth. You don't feel like you're worth anything in life. Uh, it's a lot of things, and he said about, feel like you're in a simulation, you feel like you're in a game. Uh, you feel like you're in a like a matrix where you're part of this game. And you're trying to figure out where you will end up at the end of your life. A lot of people feel this way. And that's why this channel is called Open Minded Conversation. It's good to react to videos like this because a lot of people feel this way, especially outside of thinking outside the box. I think people, that think it like this, thinks outside the box. They're very critical thinkers. They think like me. We have a lot of questions, a lot of speculations about religion, speculations about just day to day life. You know, day to day life. So yeah.
We are in a simulation, y'all. Got to be a simulation, bro. Because people, want to talk about equality this, equality that. Everybody has equal this, equal that. It's like, how? It's like when people bring that up, they never go into detail as to how. Or they'll say something crazy like, oh, we all got 24 hours in a day, which we do. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll say something like, oh, we all got 2 arms and 2 legs and 2 eyes and a brain. It's like, no shit. I mean,
It's like we all have the same thing, but people's what's the word? People are headed is different. Everybody's headed in a different direction, but we all have the same thing. And this, when he's talking about equality, it makes me think of the times of slavery. African Americans were enslaved most of their life. Most of their life they were slaves. Especially during the 1700s, 1600s, they were slaves during these times, and they didn't have a chance to express themselves or be free in a lot of areas. They were enslaved. Their slave masters made their decisions for them. They couldn't just go off and do anything. If they did, they were punished, they were whipped, they were killed even. And so, that's another question, why God enslaved African Americans. It's certain religions, certain beliefs, especially like Hebrew Israelites. They feel like, African Americans are God's chosen people. But at the same time, why were we picked to be God's chosen people? African Americans. Why did God choose us? And we have the same. We have 5 fingers. 5 toe. Excuse me. 2 hands. Two feet. We had the same thing, and and we was dealt that hand. As far as slavery. And so yeah, that's interesting that he brought that up. I'm thinking so much in my head, looking at this video. I'm thinking faster than I'm talking.
we're human. We're supposed to have those things. But aside from that, okay, then what? Does everybody have good health? Was everybody blessed with attractiveness?
Yeah, and a lot of people were born, with certain deficiencies when they're born. They, like I said earlier, people were blind, people were it's all types of heart conditions. Like me personally, I was born, I had asthma when I was young. And certain young people didn't have asthma. And so you asked the question, why were certain people born certain ways?
Was everybody blessed with a sound mind? Was everybody born into a decent family? No. So it's like, when you factor in all those things, when you consider all those things, like how the fuck can everybody be equal, man? How can there be a such thing as equality when people don't start off on the same foot, on the same playing field? You know what I'm saying? Some people start off good, some people start off average, and some people just start off at the very, 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 very bottom. You know, it just is what it is. And a lot of times, despite what people say, like where you start off is usually where you end.
Now on that part, I may have to disagree on that part though, because I feel like, uh, once you, I feel like personally, once you have your own mind, uh, and it can be psychological, it can be mental. I believe, once you become an adult, you have the choice. Once you have, you to that moment where you can decide if you have children, you can decide uh, which way you want to go as far as life. I think you have more of a choice or more control post slavery, of course. You have more of a choice on, where you're headed. But at the same time, like I mentioned, certain ethnicities have more freedom, have more leeway as far as decisions or choices they have. Uh, for example, I may decide I want to be smart enough to go to, Harvard, Ivy League college, but a certain, another ethnicity, a certain another skin tone, they may have more of an advantage, to make it in those types of schools versus me, being an African American. And so it is goes back to what he's talking about, life being rigged, why, certain colors, certain skin tones, certain people have more of an advantage, as far as life is concerned. But I feel ultimately, if you have the drive to make it in these schools, or you have the drive to make it, especially in this time, especially in this era where we at in this presidential era we're in. I think it's more about skill. I think it's more about experience as far as getting a great career, a great position in life. I think we in a different boat right now, and a lot of people didn't like the video when I said it doesn't matter what who's the president. Y'all check out that video. I had a lot of comments under that video, but yeah, uh, yeah, I agree and disagree with what he said on that part.
You know what I'm saying? There are exceptions, but when it comes to that, man, you can't really make the exception the rule, bro, because it just doesn't reflect in reality. Like everybody who comes from poverty, everybody who comes from the slums, everybody who comes from, the bottom, they don't make it up. They don't make it out. They just don't,
Mm.
you know?
And like I said, it goes back to like two siblings. One sibling may have the drive. They experienced so much when they was younger. They want to desperately get out, any way possible. You hear a lot about these uh, NBA players, these professional sports players. They want to make it out, and football, basketball, whatever they're in, that was their way out. To get out the hood. And versus another child, they may grow up and say, this is all I see, this is all I want to live in, I'm comfortable, where I'm at. So
And I'm not saying you should walk around with your head down, doom and gloom, just being negative 24/7. But I mean, also too, you want to be realistic when it comes to life.
And I think, realistic and also open minded. I think in the same way, I think there has to be a balance to how you think. Uh, I think we think too. I think we some people think they're in a fairy tale, that this and this will happen, but they don't think too much in reality, about things. I think there has to be a balance. I think you have to have belief that things can get better in life, but at the same time, you have to look at reality and you have to balance those things and think about how your reality can switch into the vision you have. So that's what I believe as far as that is concerned.
And I think figuring out that it's rigged is step one. Figuring out that we are playing in a fucking rigged game and it's not designed for everyone to make it out. Once we can all acknowledge that as a whole, we'll
And that's another question, especially going into religion. God created all of us. Uh, you know, you read John 3:16. Whosoever believe in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And so, God, why did God create some people to not have eternal life, and God created some people to have eternal life? To have the mindset to believe in Jesus. And then some people have the mindset, or they're born in certain religions where they don't believe there's a Messiah, or the Messiah hasn't came yet. And so that's a question in itself, But some people are born to believe in Jesus, but later on, they lose belief because uh, people, some people don't believe in certain things because they don't see it. Certain people don't believe in things because they feel like, why am I believing in? Like I said, why am I believing in something I can't see? Or why does certain things happen to me or my family? Why are we suffering through sickness, bad health? uh and I think it's a middle thought as far as that. I think you have the decision what you eat. You have the decision what uh you decide those things. But some people, they are born into a certain demographic, a certain environment where they're not knowledgeable of what to eat, the right things to eat. They're not knowledgeable of those certain things, and they have to be taught. And so, yeah.
we'll start to see some progress because it's just crazy, y'all. A lot of people literally think that just because LeBron James made it out of poverty, you know, one of the best NBA players of all times. They think that just because he came from the bottom and now he's at the top, they think that they can do it too. And it's like, bro, LeBron he was dealt a good hand. Obviously, he wasn't dealt a perfect hand because he would have had a better upbringing, but he was genetically blessed. You know what I'm saying? He was blessed with good height.
Yeah, LeBron, that's true. LeBron, even when he was in high school, he had so much agility, had so much physical strength as far as being a basketball player. And so, yeah, some people are born genetically with those traits.
Blessed with good muscle fiber, blessed with a high IQ, or at least a high sports IQ. He was blessed to have good health, good vision. Like, do y'all not see this? You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to the gym and develop these things. These were just naturally given to him. You know, so if you're somebody who was not blessed with those things, like, what makes you think that you can work your way to that level? You know, and I'm just using that as one example.
And that's the other thing, you know. God bless certain people with certain physical attributes, you know, from when they're young, and then some people it's not. And you know, I think it's based off of, you know, later on in life, you know, how hard you work to keep that. You know, some people lose that when they get older. You know, they get fat, they get all types of things. When they get older, they don't keep themselves up. You know, as far as those things, and so I think it's a matter of, you know, LeBron James at the same time. You know, he kept himself up. You know, some people. You know, I remember when I was young. You know, young people, they was already strong when they was young. You know, used to play football and stuff with them. They can run fast. You know, it's just the way they were genetically made.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, come on, man, we got to get realistic out here, bro. We really got to stop playing and get real. Everybody just can't win, bro. They're not gonna win. They can't win. You know, it's unfortunate, but it just is what it is.
Yes, it's the way he delivered that part it can be harsh to hear. Uh, it can be harsh to hear. Um, but I think ultimately it's based on your decision to or determination to make your life better, have the mindset, uh, happen to come across inspiration in order to want to make your life better. I think um, a lot of people are not fortunate to even have the mindset to come across a certain motivation. Uh, you know, some people say God led me to this inspiration that changed my life, and some people are not fortunate to come across those things because of, you know, where they're from or just the environment that they allow themselves to stay in. You know, so that's what I believe about that.
You know, but I'm gonna go on and get up out of here. Shut.
And so yeah, this was a great. I had to react to this because it was a lot packed in this video that my good friend Authentic Talk Podcast was discussing in this video. It's very eye-opening video. Check out the full video. Go to his page, go to his channel, subscribe to his channel. He has some great content on that channel. Great things, you know, to think about, kind of similar to a lot of things I talk about on this channel as far as, you know, the open-minded conversations. And so yeah, check out his channel, Authentic Talk Podcast. I'm gonna have a link to his channel below this video. I thought I'd react to this, and hopefully I have him back on this channel. I have a discussion on this channel. And so yeah, this was an interesting conversation. His video, Life is a Rigged Game. And a lot of people think like this, you know. A lot of people feel like, you know, like he said, feel like we are in a simulation. Feel like we're in a simulation where someone is in control. You know, like they say in church, God knows everything before it happens, omnipresent. You know, and a lot of people feel like it's a game. You know, a lot of people feel like why God put me through this, why God, you know, did that, and this person over here living the best life, and I'm over here. You know, I had to work harder. You know, some young people, they had to work at a young age because, you know, their parents just couldn't do it on their own, and so they had to help out. And then versus some, you know, some children are born with a silver spoon. You know, they didn't have to pick up nothing. They ain't had to work hard for anything. And so this is an interesting thing to think about. you know, topic to think about. And so again, check out this video. Life is a Rigged Game on his channel. Also, please subscribe to my channel, Open Minded Conversations. And until next time, peace.